Virtually being sealed off from the rest of the world, China has finally reopened its borders. It's a major unraveling of its zero COVID policy.
Christy Lou Stout has the latest from Hong Kong.
I'm at Luk Ma Chau Station, located in Hong Kong's new territories, right across the border from Shenzhen, the Chinese tech capital. And this is the freshly reopened rail crossing between Hong Kong and mainland China. It had been closed since February of 2020 due to the COVID-19 pandemic, and it was opened on Sunday, and we've been witnessing a steady stream of travelers coming through. Now, quarantine is no longer a requirement, but a number of pandemic restrictions are in place. For example, the mask mandate remains out in force. In addition to that, travelers must show proof of a negative COVID-19 PCR test before their journey. And this is going to be a phased reopening. Up to 60,000 travelers can travel each day from mainland China to Hong Kong and vice versa from 7 different checkpoints, including this one where I'm standing from. And the demand has been absolutely huge. In fact, as of Sunday evening, over 440,000 Hong Kong residents have signed up for a chance to make the journey. And earlier today, we spoke to a couple of them.
I'm really very happy about the reopening. I'm going to Shenzhen first, and then we'll fly to Chongqing for a few days. I feel like we are going back to pre-COVID times 3 years ago. I will be much happier, and life will turn out for the better.
We are going home. We'll see Grandpa and Grandma. Very happy.
The return of cross-border travel has raised hopes of rebooting Hong Kong's economy, which was hammered hard due to the pandemic and the fact that Hong Kong was isolated for nearly 3 years. But according to the chairman of the Hong Kong Tourism Board, it may take 1 or 2 years before tourism here returns to pre-pandemic levels. Christy Lou Stout, CNN, at the Hong Kong-Shenzhen border.
So Chinese visitors were a growing market for our international tourism industry here in the islands before the pandemic. Want to continue our coverage now on this important topic by tossing things over to Selena Wang. She's having a conversation with the CEO of Chinese travel platform Trip.com.
Since China has announced this border reopening, what kind of trends have you seen for travel bookings?
The pent-up demand is very strong. We have seen 3-digit growth in the search volume for almost all the destinations in Asia, in Europe, and in America. It's a record high since the outbreak of COVID.
Capacity for these international flights in and out of China is still very limited. They're still very expensive. When do you see both the capacity of flights and the pricing coming back to pre-pandemic levels?
Because the demand is exceeding the capacity right now, we expect for the first 1 or 2 quarters, it will take airlines and hotels some time to rehire back their staffs and build up the infrastructure. During the second half of this year, hopefully the infrastructure are back to normal.
And this is also the first Lunar New Year where people can gather with their families without domestic travel restrictions. So what kind of trends are you seeing ahead of the Spring Festival?
We have seen historical record for people to travel to their hometown to reunite with their families.
What kind of interest has Trip.com seen for people trying to get foreign visas to visit China for tourism?
For the business travelers, they cannot wait. Many people send me emails and wanted to schedule meetings already in China.
More than a dozen countries have put some sort of COVID-19 testing requirement on travelers from China. And you even have Morocco banning all travelers from China.
People have the money to spend and the will to spend. So if one area is not accessible, they will spend money in the other areas. We have seen that countries which offer free visa, offer China Welcome Program, normally gets a lot of attractions from the tourists.
So just a